I wanted to go ahead and bring on Bill Krackomberger, who is a legendary, respected professional bettor based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, to go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about some of the stuff that I've been doing over at Sharp Football Analysis. And I work with him. He's seen my recommendations now for a number of years. And I just wanted to go ahead and turn it over to him and let him go ahead and tell you a little bit about some of the things that I do. These are things that you guys would be obviously seeing if you became clients of mine during the 2016 NFL season.
Well, Warren, to be honest with you, there's no one else I'm doing this with because I just don't believe in a lot of the handicappers / scamdicappers and touts out there. So you asked me to say a few words and give you a recommendation, and of course I am, because it is who I am. You know, I've been betting sports professionally for 20 plus years and recreationally when I was younger. But of course, I know what it takes to win now. It took me years to do that on my own. And when someone says they could beat NFL, which is the hardest sport to beat, NFL and secondly NBA, it's hard for me to believe. I have to be shown, and you have shown yourself not only one season, because I stood there and just got your numbers the one season, didn't really bet much, but ever since then, and that has to be, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years now, season after season, your return on investment with your site is just absolutely shocks me. And as it gets tougher and tougher, and any sport gets tougher and tougher throughout the years to handicap and win at. And why is that? Well, it's real simple. The internet is a hub of so much information, and there's more and more different sites out there and informational sources out there that it just shocks me that last year you probably had one of your best seasons. Like I said, you really do. You control. I shouldn't say control. You really don't control the market, but you do move the market. When you give me some of your NFL totals, the line's going to move your way in the end, and that's what gets the money in the end. People don't know that. I don't really like saying that to a lot of people because it gets harder and harder for me to win when I'm giving out so much information to people, but I do because I'm trying to be so helpful. But if you could beat the closing number by a certain percentage point, whether it be 0.5%, 0.25%, 1%. So, in other words, if you're going over 47 in a game that you recommend to your client or recommend to me, and at game time it's 48.5 or 49, well, I know I have a nice considerable edge on that bet now, because if you were to go to make that same wager, you'd have to lay $1.40 or $1.50, whereas I laid $1.10. So I know in the end I'm going to get the money beating the closing line of the sharpest sports book in the world, short sports books in the world. I know I'm going to get the money. So, like I said, and you do that when you put out your games early in the week, and people jump on your plays. For the most part, they're going to realize the line value they get. There's other sites that advertise line value that makes me laugh, actually. They advertise their lines move their way. Well, of course it moves their way. They're the ones that are controlling the market, and when they put out a college total, this is as far as college football totals go, they put out a college total, everyone in the world is moving their numbers off air, or the sharpest players in the world are betting. So, of course that's going to happen in that sport. Well, in this sport, there's so much volume, that doesn't happen. You don't get one person to move the number considerably. Even when you're betting your games, when you put them out on Thursdays, they're not moving, a point, 2 points instantly like other sports do, because there's an anticipation of two-way action, and it does. So I may be making it sound more confusing for the novice, but just trust me. If anyone knows me or knows my name, like I said, you get the money in the end. And year after year, you've proven it. You're the only site I'm going to recommend to anybody. Most of these sites have outlandish, ridiculous percentages. They say they hit 65, 70%, 75%. Well, I personally have a guarantee of anybody that wants to go head-to-head for a season, and you tell me that you hit 70% with 5 plays a week, I'll be happy to put up a lot of money against that. You can't hit 70%. So I know that they're all ridiculous claims on these scam-decappers websites, and that's what most of them are, scam-decappers. But I know that consistently you have hit 60% in the NFL, and if that don't sound like a lot to people, it's a ton, because you have to only win 52.38% of your bets to make money. If you're someone like Bill Krackomberger, it's less than that. If you have more shops to bet at, if you have more sports books to bet at, if you have reduced use to play, you're talking I have to be 51% to get the money. So when I have a 9% edge, it can equal a lot of money, and you do that every year, and I appreciate you actually giving me the time to be on your site and to talk to your customers.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, certainly, and wanted to go ahead and mention to everybody else everybody who's listening, who's seen this page, who scanned the QR code and is now listening to this audio, that one of the things that I try to do, and certainly Crack is more than generous enough to be able to do this, is every single Sunday, I think almost throughout the course of the year, maybe there's one that we might miss, but for the most part, he is joining me and my clients every single Sunday, sharing some of the things that he's looking at, or some of the moves that he already made, or some of the moves, sides that he thinks are sharp. And you're speaking, he's recording a short podcast every single Sunday morning that goes out to all the clients out there. And one of the things that enables you to do is you get your finger is on the pulse of the beat out in Vegas from what the professionals are doing. And there's a lot of different podcasts and information that comes out throughout the course of the week. But as Crack knows better than anyone, the biggest money is what's coming in the door on Sunday game day. And he's giving you information on that morning, and it only goes to clients. So that's definitely extremely useful.
I give you a live podcast from Vegas every Sunday. It's not long, 5-7 minutes, nothing crazy, just to let you know where the money's going and what's going on. And you have to know how to separate the sharp money from the square money. A lot of time money moves on Sundays. The sports books, actually move the points in anticipation of knowing their customers, knowing their clients. They know people are going out to Las Vegas to bet the marquee teams, the Patriots, Seattle's, and the key teams in the NFL. There's probably half a dozen of them. So that's good to have someone like me that's in the pulse, that knows the pulse of the gaming floor and knows what's going on. And I do that every week for you, just to let you know what's what's going on in Vegas at the time. And I appreciate you giving me the time to do that, because I love sharing my own thoughts, and I'm a helpful person. That's what I do in my life. I try to help people. Sometimes it's up to the point where people take advantage of my kindness for my weakness, but I'm always going to be that way. You're a product of your parents, and that's how my parents were. So I like giving back and trying to help the community and trying to help your guys, because I know that you're helping them. You're actually helping them. There's been some big talks in the media recently about some other sites, and it's proven that these sites just don't win. And they're some of the biggest names in the media. So for someone like yourself that I know wins, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm betting a large amount of money on these games. But I'm also betting these games where the public cannot be hurt by my bets. So where I'm betting, your clients can still bet and get the same numbers, because I'm not affecting the market, what I do. That's kind of an undercover thing I do. I know how to bet, and I know how to manipulate the market so it won't hurt your clients too. So, so that podcast is included on Sundays, and I'm happy to be on board.
Yeah, and as the same point that you were making about helping the clients, one of the things that I enjoy doing is my detailed write-ups, because of the same way for you, obviously winning is the bottom line. When you're handicapping games, you have to win. You have to make people satisfied. That's what's going to make them satisfied, is if you're giving them recommendations that are going to result in them winning. But I also like to combine that with detailed write-ups that really teach people why I think certain teams have the edge in this particular matchup and how I think the game is going to go. And it's definitely one of the things that I've prided myself on in my ability to do. That makes it harder in the long run for me when you're kind of sharing some of your tricks and tips. It just means that you have to keep working hard, and I think that is why, as you alluded to at the beginning, many guys over the course of their time end up losing more and more as they keep going because their edges and tricks either get exposed or they're just not as valuable. And so that's one of the reasons I have to keep working hard to keep finding new edges for myself. But I do think it's interesting if you could talk to just for a second. I know you are extremely busy. Your focus is give me the games, let me get down on the games. So I'll give you the write-ups, and it's very difficult for you to get through them. They're just too long and too analytical at times. You care about the games, but I know that some of the guys that you give that information to, give the write-ups to, they really read them and like them and learn from them. So if you could talk about the difference between somebody like you who's just wagering larger amounts of money and just wants to know what the games are versus some of the other guys who would probably gain a lot from those write-ups.
Absolutely. I have a friend, actually, lives in Vegas. He's one of the smartest people I deal with. He graduated in Ivy League school in 3 years. Very smart kid. He's got a degree in applied mathematics. Very smart kid. He wants to know. He likes to read your write-ups. He likes to know the reasons why he's betting a team. I understand that. Me, myself, I don't even watch the games. So I don't want to know anything. Just give me the side you like, and I'm going to go out there and bet it. I don't want to know why you like it and why this did that, why this happened, and why this should happen. I don't want to know anything. Just give me the side I'm betting, and that's all I want to know. I don't even watch the games. Now let's get on to the next game. This is a business for me. I don't do this recreationally. I don't do this to just have fun and enjoy it with my friends. I do this to put food on my table, to feed my family, take care of people. That's why I do this. Just give me the winners and that's it. But I understand why someone would want both sides of logically both sides. Someone like myself, or I understand why someone would want to write up to know why they're putting their money up where someone else's mouth is being yours. So I do understand both sides of the coin, and it's worked for me. Like I said, you're the only guy that I follow tout-wise. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. And there has been in the past. I have tried people that said one. People come to me all the time looking for a plug, giving me some plays. I had a baseball guy come to me and says he beats baseball every year. Well, that did not happen, and this year again. He's proven again that he's not doing good. So, anyway, not to down anybody else, but I know what you do year in and year out. That's all I need to know. All I could do is put my money down on. I just want the winners. I don't want the write-ups, but other people do. I understand.
So I definitely appreciate you speaking to the clients, because it's one thing for me to say this is what my results have been and this is what is positive about my service, but it's another thing for somebody else to say that, particularly somebody with your betting history and with the levels that you've grown to in terms of your success and how well you're known. So that's why I wanted you to be able to come on and talk to the people on the other side who will be reading this magazine, who might be interested in getting on board this season, what they're going to get out of it and why. And hopefully, hearing that directly from you provides them a good idea as to some of the advantages that are there for the service and some of the reasons they might be interested in doing that. So we definitely appreciate it. And to everybody who is going to join up, as I said before, you'll get to hear interviews with Crack every single Sunday throughout the course of the season, giving you guys more information live from Vegas, one of the most respected and well-known sports bettors out in Vegas. Fortunate to be able to work with them and have them on board to help you guys out as well. So thanks once again, and I appreciate
Well, let me finish with something. Let me finish with something for you, too, especially a square novice person. When someone hears 60% and says, you go 6-4, okay, that's okay, after juice, you make some money. It doesn't sound like a lot. But I'll tell you one thing, there's nobody in the industry that does that. And even better yet, when someone's betting on their own, it's actually a mythical thing in their heads that they think they do better than that. It's absolutely amazing, because people, when they watch their own games that they bet on, they only look at it from their side of the game. Team A is playing Team B. And when Team A is winning, and then they go to losing the game, for the people that are watching the game, they only look at the game from their side of the game. They never look at it. But meanwhile, someone that bets Team B is also looking at the game from his side. And that keeps them coming back. They both think that they should have won the game and they should have been in it for the most part. So this is not for everyone. I know it's not. If you're one of those guys that have to tap yourself on the shoulder and give yourself a pat on the back, and because you did the work, well then God bless you, more power to you. I don't want to do that. I want Warren to do the work for me. I want Warren to do the work, and I just want to put the bets in, and I know I get the money in the end following you. That's all I have to say, buddy. Have a good day.